Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Simone Uwan. I am a medical doctor with sickle cell disorder, and today I want to talk to you about my new organization, Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy Incorporated. This is an organization that was founded very recently by myself and my husband, and I want to share with you the journey to starting this organization, and so that you could see our heart behind what we're trying to do. I have, like I said, sickle cell disease, and it has been a very active. I have sickle cell type SC, but from the time I was very young, I was told that I should let people know that it presents like sickle cell SS. I've come to find out that both SC and SS can have a range from mild to really bad. And I've also come to learn that a lot of doctors in the emergency room don't understand the different genotypes. Once you start leaving from SS, and they don't even understand SS well, but once you start leaving from SS to the different genotypes, people are getting really poor treatment in the emergency room. And so a lot of things happened with my own health and going to the emergency room. A lot of times I did not declare that I was a physician because I was afraid that people would tell my employers and that somehow I would lose my job. But in doing so, they didn't know that I was a medical doctor, and I got to see how people were really treated, and it was really poor. I started also noticing that there wasn't any streamlining of our care. There wasn't any protocol. So from one hospital to another within the same town even, I could get completely different care. And that was a problem, because not every doctor took the time to really become versed in sickle cell disease care. And not every doctor took the time to look up the guidelines. So over the years, what has happened is I, not only myself, but I've watched several of my close friends that I advocate for go to the emergency room, get mistreated terribly, and then only when I pick up the phone and I say, hello, my name is Dr. So-and-so, and I could be sick in my bed while I'm doing this, which is why I know that I could still be of help even from my bed. But I would pick up the phone and people would get great care and they would be able to leave the hospital alive. And that made me realize that something was just very wrong with the fact that I had to call to give basic information to make sure that people lived. And so I thought to myself, I have to do something about this. I have to duplicate myself somehow. Now, I can't duplicate all of myself. After all, I did go to college and medical school and residency. But I thought if I could just duplicate the part that deals with sickle cell disease acute management and help other people understand that, so that they could then advocate for people within our sickle cell community, wouldn't that be amazing? And so starting 2021, I decided that I wanted to teach a course about how to train to be a medical advocate. And the long story short is that has been an amazing journey, with so many people saying, man, these are pieces of information that I know will change the way that I'm treated, or it will change the way that my child is treated. And for those who just volunteered because they wanted to and didn't have sickle cell disease or weren't caregivers, they just were appalled at the treatment that others shared along the course. And they had even more of a conviction. Many of them were nurses, and they themselves said that they hadn't been taught any of that before going into a hospital setting or an emergency room setting and taking care of sickle cell patients. And so the perception that most ER nurses and doctors have is that our pain, because they can't see it and touch it, and sometimes can't measure it because it often inflicts upon our body something that takes a week to even see in a lab result. Because that is the case, many people think that the pain is in our head, and or the pain is legitimate, but why do we need so much medication? And so I think that being able to teach this course really helped me to see that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to teach this course more and more and more to as many people as I could. And I wanted to extend it to nurses and doctors. And I wanted every sickle cell support group to be a part of this, because it is going to take everybody. This is going to be a big elephant to eat, right? And they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So it's going to take a lot of hands to get this work done. And I want to partner with as many sickle cell groups as would let me, to be able to train volunteers in the community on how to be medical advocates, and then once they are certified, to be able to give them a framework in which to operate, so that they can call a hospital and say, I am working on behalf of this organization and I am calling to advocate for this person. So they won't have to just be out on their own, just saying, well, I'm certified, but not working within a structure. I think it would really help for them to work within a structure. And then what I thought was, for those who become advocates, then we can actually hire them, because it is a lot of time to invest, right? And they're already investing time to learn the process. So we can hire them to advocate for patients wherever patients are, whether we hear about them on Facebook crying out in our communities, or it's a friend down the block. It doesn't matter. What matters is we would register those people with us, we would help them, and then we would follow up with them to see how they felt about that help and was it beneficial. And what we're trying to do ultimately is to decrease hospital stay, because a lot of what's done is so below standard of care that patients often end up being in the hospital more days than they need to be, because they're not receiving the right treatment. And so we're hoping to be able to cut their pain quickly, decrease their sickle cell episode by days, reduce their hospital stay, decrease end organ damage that happens when it takes too long to get the right treatment, and help them to be back as productive members of society that they are, and living whole and healthy lives. That is our big perspective. Now, I know I have sickle cell disease too, and so some days are better than others. So I partnered with my partner, my husband, and so on the days that I might be in bed and not able to fully actualize this dream, it will be in good hands with him, along with the rest of the members of my team, that will be able to enforce this vision and see many, many people be well. I hope that this helps you to understand what sickle cell medical advocacy is going to be about. And I hope that you join us. I hope that we can change healthcare for patients living with sickle cell disease. And I hope that you can be a big part of that initiative, whether it's in volunteering to be taught how to help someone with sickle cell disease, or you can support financially so that we can get the work done and we all can take the credit. Thanks so much, and I hope you join us. Take care.